Hey guys, just wanted to get out a recap video from last night's slate. For some reason, it took 3 hours to upload the pregame video. Today it's taking 5 minutes, so I'm not sure if that was something with my internet. Anyway, first game, we had Colorado-Washington to go over the total of 6 goals. As you can see here, my reason for doing that, both teams' final expected goals for were over 2.5. And both goalies had a negative goal saved above average. Most times it is a good bet to make. The numbers had Colorado to win this game, but Washington ended up winning 6-3. I didn't bet a winner because I thought it was a toss-up. The value was definitely on Washington as they were the underdog. Second game, Dallas and Pittsburgh. I took Pittsburgh to win, and I also took their puck line. Dallas was able to shut down Pittsburgh's offense. Holtby played great, as I mentioned. These numbers are a bit deceiving because he was playing with Vancouver last year. Now with Dallas playing in front of him, they're a lot better defensively, so we expect his numbers to improve. Second game, Florida, Tampa Bay. We knew Kucherov was out, and Florida is looking really good statistically. So we were on Florida money line, and we were also on this game to go under 6. I think most people would have thought this was going to be a high-scoring affair. However, with Knight and Vasilevsky in, you can see the expected goals against for them. They're really good goalies. Even though Knight it's only a small sample of data, we know that he looks like he's going to be good. And we can see here goals saved above average. Both were above, and the final expected goals for both were under 2. So this game ended up a win for Florida, 4-1. So we hit our money line bet and we hit the under 6. San Jose, Montreal. Montreal off to a bad start. Just can't win a game. Allen not playing very good. San Jose came into this game starting Aiden Hill, and he gets the big shutout last night. 5-0 win. He's above average in goals saved. Allen below average at home. I didn't bet a winner of this game, but I did take the over 6, and that didn't hit. And like I said, ended up 5-0. I would have expected Montreal to at least get a goal or two, but that wasn't the case. My reason for the over was both over 2.5 here. Allen with a negative. Even though Aiden Hill slightly above average, his expected goals against was 2.7, so I was expecting Montreal to pot a few. Didn't happen, so that's the way she goes. New Jersey, Seattle. I mentioned Seattle, 5th game straight on the road, just got blown out by Philadelphia. New Jersey looking pretty good. They got a nice roster on paper there. I didn't realize I was expecting Drieger to get the start here, so I'm not sure if he was injured, but Seattle went with Joey Decord. He's got brutal numbers, as you can see here, 2.73 and negative 0.53. Even with Drieger, me expecting Drieger to get the start, I still went with New Jersey money line and New Jersey puck line, so that means to win by 2 or more goals. New Jersey ends up winning this game 4-2. Definitely would have been a lot more confident in that bet too if I knew Decord was getting the start. You can see here significant expected goals for advantage for New Jersey, and data came through on that one. Vancouver, Buffalo, same thing as when Montreal played Buffalo. Everybody in the world on Montreal because, well, I mean, even I'm expecting Buffalo to be terrible, but who would have expected three games straight? They've won. They ended up beating Vancouver 5-2, and you can see here expected goals for Buffalo had the advantage there. And when we look at the goaltending matchup, Craig Anderson still has game left. He's 2.57 expected goals against, and he's above average. Demko pretty high expected goals against, slightly above average, but Anderson with the advantage there too. And when we looked at the final goals for, Buffalo with the advantage. So can't say I'm really surprised that Buffalo won this game. I am surprised they beat them 5-2. But statistically they had the advantage. I didn't bet it personally. I figured Vancouver would win, but I stayed away from this game. Columbus, Detroit. We were on Detroit money line, Detroit puck line, and this game to go over the 5.5 total. So the reason I took Detroit, they had the advantage in expected goals for, and they had a pretty nice advantage in net here, Greiss versus Korpisalo. Greiss with the better expected goals against, and even though he was below average in goals saved, his is much better than Korpisalo. Korpisalo actually had a really good game last night up until the third period. The game was 0-0. And then Detroit finally broke through as they were completely outshooting Columbus. Final was 4-1, so we hit our Detroit money line, Detroit puck line, and just missed the over for that game. As you can see here, the reason I went with the over was significant advantage for Detroit to win this game. Both teams above 2.5. Both goalies negative goals saved above average. So I was expecting a lot of goals. Columbus only managed to score 1, so that's all you can do there. Los Angeles, Nashville. We knew this was going to be, somewhat of a tight game. Pretty close across the board. Nashville with the higher expected goals for. My reason for taking Nashville money line, and we took the under in this game as well. We had two good goalies here, Peterson and Saros. Saros still hadn't had a win yet, so I figured he would be due for a win now. His stats are very good. Peterson, no slouch either. So this game ended 2-1. As you can see here, I had the advantage for Nashville, which is the reason why I took them. And we hit that bet, and we hit the under. New York Islanders and Chicago. We didn't bet this game. Not hard to be confident betting Chicago right now. They don't look good. Islanders off to a little bit of a slow start here. We know they're the better team, but just wasn't confident on either side here. Islanders also had Anders Lee out last night, who's their best goal scorer. Isles had the advantage in expected goals for, and the goaltending matchup, as I mentioned in my pregame video, not sure what we're going to get with Fleury, and Sorokin hasn't started off the season well. And we actually had, because of Fleury's goal saved above average here, we had Chicago winning this game. But like I said, I didn't bet it. Didn't think it was worth it. I believe the Islanders won that game 4-1. Winnipeg, Minnesota, brutal loss for Winnipeg bettors last night. They were up 5-4, scored an empty net goal, but it got called back due to an offsides challenge, and it was offsides. Minnesota comes back to tie it and then win in overtime. Pretty crazy game. So personally, I didn't bet this game either. The numbers did have a slight advantage for Minnesota. As you can see, they were close here. Not surprised it went to overtime. Minnesota did have the advantage in expected goals for. Talbot had the advantage in expected goals against over Hellebuck. But Hellebuck has the advantage in goals saved above average. So I couldn't really gamble on this one. It just seemed like anybody could win this game. All depends on how the goalies played. And neither of them played great, 6-5. Anaheim, Edmonton. Anaheim starting off the year pretty good. I mean, they still ended up losing this game 6-5, but that was on a back-to-back, starting their backup goaltender. I would assume most people were expecting Edmonton to win this game by 2 or more goals. I didn't bet it personally. The reason being was that I figured Edmonton would win, but the line was -300, so there's just no value on it. It's not worth the bet there, and yeah, it was a tight game. In net, Smith, Stolars, great numbers in limited time, and Smith doing well, but they both got lit up last night. So, like I said in the pregame video, because Stolars' goal saved above average is so high. The advantage was given to Anaheim, and they still kept it within 1 goal. So it's not like the stats were way off on this game. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. If you like this data breakdown, give me a subscribe. Thanks.